Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Good morning and good afternoon, whatever time it is where you is. Hey, that rhymes, sort of. Today I'm doing a C++ exercise from Codewars called Split Strings. Almost feels like my mic isn't working. Let me see here. Hopefully it is. All right, Split Strings, C++, Codewars. Let's go, baby. Complete the solution so that it splits the string into pairs of two characters. If the string contains an odd number of characters, then it should replace the missing second character of the final pair with the underscore. So what's happening here is going to be given a string, and then the task is to break it up into pairs of strings. I guess you could say the consecutive pairs of strings where A, B, C, D, E, F is broken up into A, B, C, D, E, F. And as the instructions say, if you have an odd number or you have an orphaned single at the last for the last pair, you do an underscore to give it a pairing. I don't know if I worded that right, but you guys know what's up. If you have a single string at the end or a single character at the end that has no pair mate, you put an underscore at the end. Let's dive into this, folks. Let's dive in. Succulent code. Let's go. And here's my C++, I guess you could say the function header and the empty body for me to put stuff into. Flesh of my flesh, body of my body, whatever the heck that means. Okay, and for this function, returning a vector, taking in a string. So that's how this is going to work. I'm going to take in a string, I'm going to split it into pairs of characters. And the pairs of characters are going to be in a vector. I'm going to return a vector. I'll say it again, a vector. There we go. Being ridiculous this morning. Okay, so I'm going to use the whole prefix thing. I'm not going to using namespace standard at the top as per what's already going on here. I'm not going to change things. I'm just going to leave it as it is, as it be. So I'm going to create a vector called v. And this vector is going to store my pairs of characters from the string. What I will do next is loop through the string. I'm going to loop through the string using type of size t as my iteration variable. And what size t is, it's a data type in C++. That is guaranteed to be unsigned, meaning it can't be negative. Because it can't be negative, it's appropriate for use in iteration. And I believe well, I'm not going to go any further because I'll just say something that's wrong. But I'm using it for that reason, because it can't be negative and it's more appropriate to use for vectors in C++. That's how it is, folks. When you forget part of a principle, you just stop there and don't ramble on, making yourself look foolish. More foolish than you already look. Actually, I think I remember what I was going to say. So the vector method size, it returns a number, or it returns the data type size t. So using a size t as your iteration variable, it makes this comparison appropriate. Where if I were using an integer, I'm comparing slightly different types, because a regular integer is signed where it could be positive or negative. Size t can only be positive, and vector size, that method, is a size of size t data type, so the comparison is of the same data type, so it makes it appropriate. That's why I'm using it. So I remember it now after seeing this. I reminded myself. That's kind of an aside. Let's get back into what this thing is doing. So, in the header of the for loop, I'm kind of doing a normal loop until the end where I do I plus equals 2. I'm doing I plus equals 2 because I want to jump 2 each time instead of 1. Typically, when you iterate through a string or a list or an array or whatever, you're going 1 at a time. I'm going 2 at a time because I want to get pairs of characters. So I'm going to, let's say, start at character 0. I'll get character 0 and character 1, and then on the next iteration, I'm going to be starting at character 2, so I can get character 2 and character 3. So my starting point jumps by 2 each time, so that my starting point can be the start of a pair each time. That's why I'm doing this. And inside here, I'm going to do a conditional. I'm going to say if the index that I'm at right now is not equal to the last index of the vector, I am going to add a pair to the vector. And use the pushback method to add a pair to the vector. And what I'm going to add to the vector is the next pair of characters. I'm going to use the substring method out of the string class. And what I'm specifying here is I is the beginning and 2 is the length of the substring. So that's how substring works in C++. It's first argument in this form is the beginning element. Second argument is the size of the substring. So I'm starting, if I is 0, I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to capture 2 ahead of 0, meaning really 0 and 1. Those are the elements that I'm going to capture. And of course, it's going to move up every time. I'll start at 0, then I'll start at 2, then I'll start at 4, and so on and so forth. The else is going to capture the situation where I'm at the end. I'm on the last element, and I only have there's no other element, so I can't capture a pair. If I cannot capture a pair and I'm at the last element of the vector, I'm going to add something different to the vector. What I'm going to add is I'm going to add the last character. Of course, there's another way to get the last character, but I'll use this one. I'm going to add that last character, and I'm going to add the underscore to the end, because that is what the instructions specify. If you're at the end and there's no more pair to make, there's only one more element, you add the underscore to the end. And there you go, folks. There's your nice vacuum sealed, pleasantly wrapped solution. Yeah, I don't think there's any more to say here. What more can I say? Top billing. Just to see if there is a mistake, and there is not, at least for the test. Look at the attempt. Good, good, excellent, good to go. Alrighty. So what we have here is split strings done in C++ from Codewars. There's your code, there's your solution. And I'm good, folks, and you're good. So with that, I'm out.